So you've started lifting weights and building muscle and you feel awesome, but you're gonna encounter just one problem. Jeffrey is gonna try and convince you to stop lifting weights because he says that that's making you fat phobic. Come on, Jeffrey. So are you gonna listen to him? Are you gonna listen to the people who get offended at your actions when you wanna try and be healthy and fit? Because there is another man who sees you in the gym and he can't help but give you some respect, and that is Adonis. Adonis is a gym enthusiast himself, and now you have both Jeffrey and Adonis in front of you. Left or right? Instant gratification or delayed gratification? Which one do you choose? I don't want to make this like a clickbait video, like, oh, why lifting weights will make you depressed. Because the truth is that weightlifting is probably the single best habit that I started. I think meditation, journaling, getting more productive has been so beneficial for me. But I was only able to do those things after I started weightlifting. Because you see, weightlifting is kind of like a cornerstone, a key habit for you to implement. By getting into weightlifting or any kind of resistance training where you build muscle, you start to understand the process of self-improvement in other areas. There's one absolutely crucial mindset in resistance training like weightlifting that will change your life forever, and you already know what it is. It's progressive overload. Doing more today than you did a week ago or a month ago. That is how you continuously keep making progress, and you can use that same progressive overload concept in anything that you want to try. You want to be a rapper? Well, progressively overload your skills. You want to be able to run longer? Well, progressively overload your skills. You want to be more mindful? Well, progressively overload your meditation training. Weightlifting and building a physique that really makes you proud of yourself is literally like a 10 out of 10 thing, but there is a problem that I really do want to discuss with you, because chances are you are going to experience some of the negative side effects that a lot of people don't talk about. Because there's a quote which is kind of like funny, and we laugh at it and we hee like it's a joke, but there is truth to what I'm about to say, and it is that the day you start lifting is the day that you'll be small forever. Now, we've always heard that and be like, oh yeah, that's relatable. I'm smaller than I want to be. But there is a bigger picture to that. Once you start lifting and you really get into this pursuit, and you're not like just a normal guy who goes to the gym a few days a week. You're like a guy, okay, you're watching fitness videos on YouTube, you're watching body transformation videos, bro. When you get obsessed with this culture, it can start to really dominate your mind. It can start to become like one of the most important things in your life. That's really good. But then you start getting a sense of what's called bigorexia. And that's like a term, like a medical term that like is often joked about. And it's like, oh, that's not true. Like, I don't have bigorexia. Like, that's weird. Bigorexia is kind of like the muscly version of anorexia. And I don't think we should just label ourselves with some kind of medical term. But if you look at the symptoms of bigorexia, a lot of us do have it. The symptoms are things like wanting to get bigger at all costs, taking supplements, or just in general, just random ass supplements. Like when you were a normal guy, you never would have considered taking fucking cod liver oil or some shit, but now we're taking creatine, we're risking like boldness with that. And really take a second right now to visualize your lifestyle with this pursuit of building more muscle and strength. You're doing a lot of crazy stuff that we weren't just a few years ago. Like, with the weight that we lift in the gym, you always kind of think like, oh yeah, it's not so heavy because it's, like there's people who can lift heavier than me. But when you objectively think of the weight that we're putting our body through, whether we're squatting and we've got the weight on our traps, or we're bench pressing, like we're using like a very good amount of weight. If you picture like some kind of like NHS, like health service, and they say like, oh, back pain can be caused by lifting heavy weights. Yeah, the heavy weights that they're talking about, which can cause like back pain and muscular injuries, is like 10 kilograms, 20 kilograms. I'll strap like a fucking 120 on my back, and that's like still part of my warm-up for squats. So we're getting obsessed with building muscle, and I still think that's a good thing. But when you dedicate so much of your life to this pursuit, it's very, very easy for your mental health to be like extremely fickle depending on the progress that you make. And I think the first sign of this, when you're somewhat of a beginner, is like this level of impatience and even agitation with the slowness of the results. I experienced this myself, and my friend Sam experienced this, where in the first few months of our training, like we wanted to make progress as fast as possible. And so we'd go to the gym for like 2 hours a day, and then just kind of like, what else can we do? What else can we do? You end up watching like fucking 5 hours of YouTube videos of like body transformation, like health and fitness advice, Jeff Nippard, Jeremy Either. Like you watch so many of these videos, you get like so obsessed with this, and you're left with this sense of like agitation with how slow the progress really is. Perhaps that agitation and that impatience has been built into us because we have like the wrong expectations of how fast the gains should be made, because we see these videos online, and this is where the mental health side comes in. If you go online right now and search for body transformation, especially if you write for your age, so if you're 17 years old, write body transformation 17 years old, bro, it's gonna piss you off. There's going to be guys there who say that they've been working out for like 3 months and they're fucking Mr. Olympia now. Are they lying? Are they on steroids? No, you can't really tell. The truth is that we just think that the gains will be way, way faster than they actually are. And this gives you that sense of like a little bit of like resentment for yourself and the training that you've done. You're constantly overthinking, you're trying to optimize your training, your diet, because you're thinking, wait, what am I doing wrong? Which supplement should I buy? Which fucking aesthetic body course should I buy? And then let's talk about when you've actually built some muscle. So now let's say you're a year into training, you're 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you've built some muscle, you're looking good. Objectively, you're looking good and you're not satisfied. I don't think as a young man you should be complacent with anything that you really value. I think we should be striving for more progress and success. But oftentimes you don't really appreciate the progress that you've made. So you look phenomenal, and if you showed your physique to your younger self and said, okay, this is what you're going to look like in a few years, your younger self would be like going crazy, like, wait, that's like the videos that I've been watching right now, that's going to be my physique. I bet future me is going to be so happy. I bet he's smiling all the time. I bet he's shirtless all the time. Are you? Your younger self is so impressed by your current physique that he thinks that you'd be shirtless all the time, and we like cover up our fucking gyno and like our extra 3% body fat. We cover it all up because we're not good enough yet. You have to understand that there'll never truly be a point when you're like 100% satisfied with your physique if you have like a certain kind of like personality style, which you probably do if you're watching this video. You have to almost induce/force levels of appreciation and gratitude for the physique that you've built. This is why the number one practical no BS thing that you can do to sort of ease the negative mental health problems that come with bodybuilding and lifting weights is called gratitude journaling. It's taking some time to appreciate and be grateful for the progress that you've made so far. Literally, I just did it this morning without even meaning to say it on this video, where you'll just get a piece of paper or a little notebook and just write down the things that you're grateful for. Now, you should do this in all parts of life. So I've done this, for example, I'm grateful for waking up at 5 a.m. to get a great day of hard work started. I'm grateful that my friend Nabil is on my level. He's a very valuable friend to have. So I'm just talking about like, you know, everything that I'm grateful for. But what you could do if you're really resonating with this video is to start doing gratitude journaling for your physique and the training. So for example, you'd write, I'm grateful for yesterday's workout. I really pushed myself and I'm impressed by that. I'm grateful for my physique, especially my chest, which I've been really working on. And you know, my chest looks awesome now. Because how often do we take the time to really like highlight the good parts of us? Bodybuilding is inherently a critical sport. You have to be critical of yourself to make progress in bodybuilding. That can be like intensely negative inside of your mind, because eventually you're going to get to this point, you probably might be there right now, you can relate to this. Pretty much every time you see yourself in a mirror, the first thing that happens, which is fucking sad, your brain will say a thought to you, which is, need bigger arms, chest is lacking, gyno's looking mad, legs are small. Now that critical self-analysis can be useful and productive sometimes, because you do need to be able to see your weak points to grow, but it happening naturally throughout the day, you didn't even, you weren't in the bodybuilding mood, you literally just walked past a random mirror and now you're like criticizing your physique. So what I recommend with that is to take special times, like once a month, once every 2 months, to sit down and have like a critical hour where you fully go through your physique and say, you know what, like I want bigger biceps, my legs are too small, my calves are non-existent. You do that like once a month. Once every 2 weeks. That is like your critical moment to kind of structure your goals to go ahead. You write down that your chest is lacking, so then your new workout routine will like focus more on chest. You do that literally once a month, once every 2 months, once every 3 months. But then as time goes on through your day-to-day life, you need to constantly be saying like positive, loving things about yourself. If every time you see your physique, you have something negative to say, like, oh, just wait till I get a little bit leaner, just need to get it a little bit bigger. That's so sad. That's so sad, because you've worked very hard to get to this point. Every time you walk past the mirror and you see your physique, you should think back to where you started and think only positive about the progress that you've made. Every now and then think critically and, plan to make more progress. So if you take this really, really seriously, you can start ending up sort of neglecting your social life, even your dating life, because, you're on your perfect diet. And I'll be totally honest, I've never been like that. I very, very, very much value like social connections. And if you look into like the research, bro, like social connection, people around you, people who you love, who love you, it's like literally the most important thing in your life. So to sacrifice that to make some fucking gains, like it never made sense to me. So for example, I'm always down to go out for food. I'll try and like, eat clean and stuff, but I'm always down to go out for food. For a long time, I was always down to like go out for drinks with friends, go out for drinks with girls. I haven't drank in a while now, and I'm somewhat liking it. It's not so much different for me because I don't drink that often anyway. But you should just keep in mind that it's very easy to kind of have this mindset that it's the gains or the friends or dating or girls. And I think the best case scenario is never having the fight between these two. Because just put it this way, You plan to make this muscle, this strength, this progress for life, don't you? We never plan to, like, you know, get fit and then lose it, did we? The idea is, okay, get fit, stay fit for the rest of our lives, make gains, keep those gains for the rest of our lives, right? So that means that you're naturally gonna have to find a way that you can balance this throughout your life. So don't just think, oh yeah, you know, I'm getting real serious, I'm on a cut, so I'm not gonna speak to anyone, I'm gonna just eat chicken and rice all day, every day, and not go out for food. Because if you want this for life, you wanna maintain these gains for life, and you wanna keep making more gains, and you don't wanna be like one of those older people that you see that aren't fit anymore, and they'll be telling you these stories of like, oh yeah, like I used to be really fit, I used to squat 150, but then, you know, like life got in the way. Because if you're going really serious with weightlifting right now, and you start neglecting and sacrificing other parts of your life, there'll be a point when you probably can't do that anymore. There'll be a point when, for example, you do actually make some friends that you really want to be around. There'll be a point when you meet like a girl that you want to date and you want to spend more time with, and you can't bring fucking chicken and broccoli in some Tupperware to a restaurant anymore. At that point, you would not have learned how to balance both weightlifting and your social life, so you'll struggle. But the guys who start and never sacrifice their social life, but just kind of make it work, so you go out to eat and you get something that's kind of healthy, you skip the dessert, you get like water instead of alcohol, those type of people will continue this for life because you're not sacrificing anything then. Think about how Adonis would do it. Do you think he's just gonna eat by himself because he really cares about building muscle? He has the ultimate physique, which means that he has the biggest challenge of all to maintain and to grow that physique. And yet you will see him eating with his tribe all the time. He's the tribe leader, so he eats with his people. You can subscribe if you want to, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.